You felt like home to me, and this all felt real, truly. And you felt like home to me.
You're tuned in to a Grown Folks production. In the mix with the commish, Nate.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I forgot to get the chat thing working here. I'm going to get this thing up and going. I got to refix it, but welcome to Press Pass Live. We are back night after night. We were just with you last night for the draft, and we're back for our prediction show. We're going to try to get into it, get this over, because I cannot stay up till midnight, and I got to get my entire team ready. So let me welcome in my two co-hosts. I'm supposed to have a third, but he's not here yet. I don't know where he's at. Trey might be joining us a little later, but right now we got Mr. Big Hurt of the Minnesota Vikings and your owner of the Deuce, Mr. Maniac. Fellas, how's it going tonight?
Hola.
Doing well.
Big Hurt survived the night with me, so I think that is always a good sign, and we were able to get through a really good draft night, so I appreciate you doing that. Poor Maniac was sick and had church and all kinds of other stuff going on, so he was unable to join us. Fellas, let's jump right into it. We're cutting the fat tonight. There's no OMFL news. We're not opening up the mailbag. We're not doing any of that stuff. We need to get to just the predictions to save some time for me to finish getting my team and these guys get their teams ready. I got rules to update. I got graphics to make. I got so much work to do. That's what I hate about these fast off seasons, and we got to get that done. So let's jump right into it, and we're going to take this division by division. What am I looking for here? I don't even know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for standings. That's what I'm trying to find. We're going to go NFC. We always go AFC. We're going to reverse engineer this thing. Let's go NFC West. We got the Rams and Coach Crazy, the Cardinals and Coach Joker, the Seahawks and Coach Meek, and then the 49ers and the mighty D Money. So those are the four teams that are up in this division. It's going to be quite the battle here. Big Herb, give me your prediction. Who wins this division?
I'm going to go with D Money. I think D Money is just going to be ready to lock it back in. I think it's going to be a fun race to watch. I think Meek will be right there, and Joker will be right there. Crazy B-Man missing so much time last season. I think he still has a little bit of a learning curve just and getting back into the routine. Probably not going to be quite there yet, but I'm going to go D Money as my winner.
Mr. Maniac.
Yeah, I'm going to probably say, just for the sake of being a little bit different, I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I think he's done some good stuff in the offseason. I still think it's going to be a race between him and the 49ers, but I just think the Seahawks, I think he's tired of everybody talking about him and talking about being the regular season winner and stuff, and he may still be just that, but give me the Seahawks and Mr. Meek Boy.
What's up, Randy? What's up, Bird? What's up, Logan? Logan, I appreciate and love you, even though I know I get under your skin sometimes. Nothing but love. It's one of my funnest things is to play shooters and talk to you guys. And anytime I go long spans like I am right now where I don't get to play, I start to itch a little bit. Whoa, who squeezed the cat? Somebody let the cat alone. The cat didn't do nobody nothing. I'm expecting more from Crazy, but I don't know how much more he'll be able to give just because of his life circumstances. So give me another year for Crazy to get things turned around over there. Joker is going to make the Seahawks and the 49ers earn it. I just need to see something from them. I just need to see him actually do it. We've seen it in spurts. Need to see him do it. 49ers, head scratcher for me. We've seen him in the championship game. I think season 2 he won the championship. Last season, he had a really great team, but faltered in the playoffs. First season, faltered in the playoffs. Like, which 49ers team are we going to get? I do believe he got a little bit weaker, not weak, but weaker than his team was. Interested to see them. I'm taking the Seahawks. They are the regular season champions here in the OMFL, and I think they're going to win the NFC West. NFC East, Twinkie and the Eagles, Dwayne and the Cowboys. By the way, how does a 4-win team start their season out with a team that has literally been in the NFC Championship every single season? What a punch in the nuts. Mr. Bill and the Giants, and then Trey and the Commanders. Boy, this is going to be a fun division. Maniac, how do you see this one playing out?
I don't know. Bill and them Giants have been probably the thorn in the Cowboys' side throughout this entire cycle. I don't really. I mean, like, my heart says just to go with the Giants, but my gut says, you can't go against the Cowboys. But I'm actually going to go with the Giants. I think the Giants are going to kind of shock us. I know I'm kind of giving like the underdog card here on both these divisions so far, but give me Bill and the Giants. I think he's built a phenomenal team, and I think him and the Cowboys are going to be right there. Then we got Trey, though, and I think Trey could be like the black horse, dark horse, whatever here in this division that could kind of maybe help the Giants, or it could be a thorn in the Giants' side as well. But give me the Giants. So I think the Giants have built probably one of the better front sevens anybody in this league so far.
It's a goat. It's not a cat. No one stepped on a cat. It's the goat. It kind of hit me.
It's feeding time.
It kind of hit me halfway through that. I'm pretty sure we can't say black horse anymore. I'm not sure if that was a word that we could say, but I'm pretty sure in 2025 that's a black horse is not something we can say. I'm kidding. Mr. Hurt, how do you see this one playing out? NFC Beast.
I was wondering who you were calling the GOAT. I was like, which team is it? And then you're talking about the cat.
I thought this one stepped on a cat.
Whatever the noise is. This division is going to be a fun one. I think for me, I really think Bill's going to be back in. He had a lot of success on All Pro. I think Dwayne has had success on rookie, whatever, one button, you name it, he just wins. That's what he is. But what intrigues me is adding Trey into the mix. I think Trey's team is just not quite there, but I think he's going to play some spoiler, give these guys a headache, and just kind of stir the pot in that division a little bit. But I think at the end of the day, it's hard to pick against the Cowboys. But again, the Giants made that run on All Pro. I'm only sticking with what I think I know at this point, and that's the Cowboys to come out on top, just like they did when Bill made the playoffs. He was a wild card team and then made his run in the playoffs. I'm going to stick with the Cowboys to win the division. I do think Bill is back in the playoffs as a wild card team, though.
I love Twinkie and what he's able to do. He makes guys earn it. I'm still wondering about the quarterback situation. I think life has not allowed him to be super engaged these last 2 seasons, and so he will steal a couple of games from people, but will not be able to make enough difference. The Commanders, I think, are still building for their team. We've seen Trey take some time to build his team. I don't know what happened in United. I hope he's okay. He's supposed to be on the show, but Trey is a team builder. I think he's going to need some time to build this team to fit his style. He has it out for Jaden Daniels. Don't know why, and I think that could have been a quarterback that he could win with, but it seems to be a head thing. I've seen poor Maniac go through this sometimes where just in his head, it just don't work, and it just won't work. Giants, Bill has been the cheerleader for All Pro, so he's gotten his way, and he will get his settings. I don't think he's going to like my sliders. I'm just telling y'all right now, a lot of you are going to be raging about the sliders, but they are fully on purpose. They are very intentional, and they are done to bring balance. And I'm sure we'll have some games, as Madden does, where it goes a little extreme, but I'm interested to see how these sliders play out. I think the Cowboys are going to win it for the same reasons that Big Hurt said. Give me what normally wins, but the Giants and Commanders are going to make him earn it. NFC South, the division no one wants to win. Bird and his Panthers. I would just say the least confident I've ever seen Bird. When that guy's playing with confidence, he is unstoppable, but he's not so confident right now, and I'm not sure why. I'm interested to see if that confidence comes back here on All-Pro. Mr. Fleury and the Falcons, he is building a hell of a team over there. Buccaneers are definitely going to bounce back. This is the settings that he plays better on. He's going to be spreading them out. He's got Olave over there now. He's going to be making big plays. And then my Saints, that as I did my roster today, I realized that I am by far the worst team builder I have ever created, and I don't know how I found myself here. I used to take pride in building really good teams, but I have not done that well these last 2 cycles, and I think I realized that it's because I started out the last 2 cycles with really terrible foundations, and I didn't focus enough to flip bad foundations and draft well enough to turn things around. Mr. Big Herb, how do you see your old, well, actually both of your old division, how do you see this one playing out?
Well, first, I think Maniac and I both are in the same ship. Every division's been our old division. With
Nearly.
But yeah, I mean, with that being said, this division is a fun one as well. I mean, a lot of talent. I think Kevin is chomping to get back into the mix of things. You had mentioned last night, I think it's just a sense of confidence thing. And I think that's also the same thing for you. I think what you just said, your out of the box team quite hasn't been the strongest. And I think that's, you being a Saints fan, you kind of hold on to and want to stick and build around those guys. And it's not the Saints from like the Drew Brees era and the Kamara prime years type of team. But with that being said, I do like what you did at the end of last season. And I think if you can build some confidence on that, you're going to be in the mix. You're going to definitely give people some headaches. But I think at the end of the day, the roster and just being in your own headspace is going to hurt you. I think the Falcons and the Panthers are going to be battling it back again, and I think the Bucks might find some traction. He adds Olave. He's got Trey Palmer. He's got the quarterback. I'm going to go with the surprise, and just because I think Kevin wants to get back into the mix, I'm going to pick the Bucks to win this division this year. But I would not be surprised if this division is kind of like the NFC North, not a real high winning total wins the division, but everybody's kind of right there in the mix of things.
Maniac, how do you see this one playing out?
This one could go, literally anyway. I think I was one of the ones that talking about the South and the North. Last year I said there wouldn't be an OMFL Bowl winner out of that division. Well, guess what? There's an OMFL Bowl winner out of that division. So it could very well play out the same way with the South here. I do think Bird has a leg up on the competition here, but I think the Falcons and Buccaneers are really close, and then I think the Saints are starting to build, maybe a little bit late in the cycle, but you are starting to get some things to go to build that team and stuff. So I think you're going to be a little bit more competitive. I do just I think the Panthers, though, with his rushing attack that he's got, and I think it's the reason why he won the division again this last season, because he found his rushing and it propelled him into the playoffs. And yeah, he didn't go that far, but I just think that's what's going to carry him. His dedication to the running attack, and so I feel like the Panthers are going to win this division again. But I do think the Buccaneers are going to be back. I think he's going to be pushing, and so but give me the Panthers and Mr. Bird.
My head says that the Buccaneers are going to be back, but I'm sort of the opposite of what Big Hurt said. I don't know that Kevin wants to. I think he doesn't care anymore. I think he is moments from quitting. I hope not. I hope he finds his feet, but I think he's hanging in there just because he likes us as a community, but I think he hates Madden. So that is why I give pause of, will he really bounce back? I think the Falcons are building a hell of a team. He went out there and got some names that fit his style, and I think bring him confidence. And he's always a very confident, bordering on cocky player. And I think you're going to see that play out this season, especially on these settings. It's all going to depend on the quarterback play. I really like the Panthers too. I think he had a lot of early picks. He had a really good offseason. He was building. He had so many good picks. He's like, just let the CPU pick the rest because I don't even care. Don't need them. We're going to cut them anyway. And that was in the third round. So I think also Bird is going to win this one. The Falcons are going to make him earn it, and the Buccaneers have a lot of potential. Let's see if he can actually plug back in. NFC North, you got Trey. Listen to me, I do it every time, y'all. Sorry. Tim and his Lions. Colin, the champion Colin, and the Bears. Your Big Hurt in the Minnesota Vikings, and the always knowing, always comical Priest and the Packers. NFC North, Mr. Maniac, how do you see this one playing out?
Until the champion loses, you can't go against the champion here, I think. Especially with the team that he's built. We talked about it. He's got a young team. His team's stacked. And I think he had a pretty solid draft again. So he's just kind of continuing to build that team and shape that team. So I think he's going to be a juggernaut from the North. So give me the Bears, Colin. I don't think the other teams have got a chance here. The Lions and Vikings may play a little bit of a spoiler here and there and stuff, but I just think that the Bears they've just built a phenomenal team, and it's going to be hard to take them down.
Hurt, what do we see happening in your own division, bud?
That's going to be a tough one, and I've been kind of playing this out in my head today, just with building the roster and kind of getting set to 53 and all that stuff. The Bears have a loaded, young, right in their prime
yes, they do.
roster. It's going to be tough. Colin's riding the high on the confidence level. Touching back to All-Pro, I don't know if that affects him. I don't know how he feels about All-Pro and all that stuff. If he was more of an all Madden type of guy, I'll be interested. I think it's hard to bet against the champion. I do think I'll be in the mix, and I think I'll be pushing for a playoff spot in some capacity. I think Tim's also going to be there. He's got a really good roster. But I think the Bears are going to win this division just based off of his roster, right, and confidence. And I don't see him taking like a huge step back, even if he wasn't an all-pro fan. So I got to go with the Bears until they're beat. But I do think that the Lions, again, I think it'll be kind of a mix of last year. I know Priest is an all-Madden guy, so I don't know. And he's made some trades and kind of shook up the roster a little bit. I think he'll still be right in the mix of things, kind of like last year, but I don't think he'll be pushing for a playoff spot. Just kind of my take on it. I think he's goes through like a 6-game like high and low type of thing. So,
well, if we turn abilities back on and allow him to have the ability that doesn't allow you to throw interceptions, he might go undefeated. But as long as we keep those off, I love the roster he's built. Man, he went out there and invested a lot. I don't know how he did. He got a lot of really good veterans, and he got a lot of draft picks. Always seems to draft really well. I think the Packers have an ability. This is secretly a really good division. I think they have the ability to push everybody. I really like your Vikings. It may take you a season or two to build a roster, but you're a very good roster builder. I feel like, personally, in my perspective, you're always best when you're a defensive first coach that then builds the offense to complement that defense. I'm interested to see if you were able to do that. Bears are the new Lions, and I mean that from the perspective of when we did see Trey build the Lions and go on his run and win championships, he left behind like this amazing roster. Colin's now done that. And he has not only a championship banner and trophy, but he also has like this super high overall, young team that's just going to be a thorn in everybody's side. Trey still has a great roster. They're aging. They're starting to get older now, but he's got a great roster. He has sprinkled in some draft picks, and it's going to be interesting to see come together. This is going to be a really, 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 really fun division. I'm going to go out on a limb and call the Vikings to win the division, but everybody's going to be there, and you might see all 4 of these teams get 9 to 10 wins at least. I don't know that all 4 can get to double digits because they'll beat each other up, but it's going to be close. AFC West, you got I almost keep calling him Luca, but he said he retired Luca. So Shocks fan. And the Chiefs, you got Jay Bowles and the Raiders. I always mix these two up. Is Jay Bowles the Broncos, the Raiders? I don't know why. I think Jay Bowles is the Raiders.
Raiders.
And
Yeah,
Jay Glaze.
Jay Bowles is the Raiders and Jay Glaze is the Broncos.
Yeah, you see, it's too close. You don't need to change those. Jay Glaze is the Broncos, plus they're besties, so they just keep getting twisted in my head. And then we got Logan and the Chargers. Big Hurt. How do you see the AFC West?
I think this division's kind of wide open. I think Logan last year kind of put the clamps on it when he switched over and just was playing at a high level. But I think Shocks fan kind of put his name on the map a little bit towards the end of the year. And I think, like, for me, if Shocks fan can stay at that level, he's got the roster. He did make a move, the Chris Jones move to the Cowboys, that I think might hurt him initially. But he has to make room. He has to, like, pay some of these guys like Worthy and Mahomes. So I understand the move. I get it. He's got 2 running backs as well that are really high. But I think that's where I kind of feel like I want to lean his way, because in All-Pro, I think we had a little more success running. I'm interested to see the sliders that you talked about where running is going to be tough. But Winters and Pacheco, that's a pretty strong two-headed monster in the run game. So if Shocks fan can find the success in the run game, it's hard to not pick him as kind of a favorite, just because that's probably the best combo running back combo in the league. So I want to pick Shocks fan to win this division, but I think Logan and him are going to be right there. Jay Bowles and Jay Glaze, those guys, it's like they sneak up out of the middle of nowhere every cycle. It's like they flip a switch and all of a sudden they're like that team. So could this be the season? I don't know. But for me, I'm going to lean towards the Chiefs and the Chargers to battle it out. I'm going to go with the two-headed monster in the backfield with the Chiefs, and Shocks fan pulls it out.
Raiders and Broncos sometimes turn it on about this time. I've seen it in hints from the Raiders. We haven't really seen it from the Broncos in a more consistent time in this cycle. I'm interested to see those two. I think they'll tell us early, if they're going to be here competing. This is a much funner, enjoyable division to watch whenever these two teams are going at it and winning and fielding competitive teams. I do like the Chiefs. Anytime you have Mahomes, you can see it right here. The sim of the 3 preseason games, he scored 101 points. So clearly the CPU likes the Chiefs as well. I got to go Logan. Like, he stepped over here and just put the clamps down. He was so dominant. He just ran up against a really tough Randy in the Indianapolis Colts. Give me the Chargers to win this one. Keeping an eye on the other teams. Shocks fan played with so much more confidence as last season went on. Going back to All-Pro, does he continue that confidence? Mr. Maniac put a bow on the AFC West. Tell me your thoughts.
I think letting Chris Jones go was tough. I do think he did draft a pretty solid defensive tackle, I think, in the first round or second round. I remember looking on the chat. But anytime you get that big man off your defense, it's going to be rough. And Dwayne definitely reaped the benefits from that one for the Cowboys. But I do think it's going to be close. I think this division always is like one of the ones like, and this is just the way this division is always played, and they're kind of similar to what the real life old AFC West used to be. Everybody was just like tons of points, no defense type of thing, and so definitely think though that the Chargers, what he's done since he's come over there with Logan, he is just an offensive guru. And he can put the clamps on you defensively as well, but I think where he just hangs his hat on is an offense, but I think just speaking of that, we were talking about all the offense in this division and stuff. I do think though, with his ability to kind of shut things down, that's what gives him the leg up in this division. So give me Logan to win it again.
Now the goat's choking. Somebody help that goat out. And I know that's a kid. AFC East. You got Mr. Lost Sniper and the Patriots, Massimo and the Dolphins, your Maniac and the Buffalo Bills, and then Cincy Berg and the Jets, who I accidentally pissed off last night. My bad, Cincy. That got weird over a preseason game. Don't know why. I still scratching my head, but let's just clean slate and move forward. Get that out of the way. I have said it time and time again. This is a ton of fun. I feel like the Jets build great defenses and then sprinkle in the offense. A lot like Big Hurt, build great, fast, athletic defenses and then build these sort of like key stakeholders on offense that put up a ton of points. Bills, Maniac always builds well-rounded teams that can run the ball, pass the ball, win in a variety of different ways. Massimo is our new age, greatest show on turf. Like, he's got these Dolphins. He spreads you out. He's got the big arm. He can run on you. He's got playmakers all over the place. And then the Patriots and Lost. It is so much fun to watch Lost click and win and have that confidence and that momentum. Makes this division so much fun. I want to see all four of these teams competing. I don't know what I'm going to get from the Bills. I think that roster has gotten a little older on him. The Patriots, can they keep the quarterback healthy this season? The Dolphins need to get some momentum and sort of consistency, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I got to lean towards the Jets, but I don't say that with a lot of confidence because I think all four of these teams could win. I'm really intrigued by the Bills. That would be my gut, my go-to. I mean, he found himself in, I'm pretty sure, like 2 AFC back-to-back championships on All-Pro. Maniac has made no bones. All-Pro is his favorite mode to be playing on. I don't know that he's going to love my sliders. He may hate me after 2 weeks of this. I just think the Jets have been so consistent and such a good play caller too. I think all four of these guys just really good play callers. Maniac, I'm going to make you hold on and go last for your own division. Big Hurt, how do you see the AFC East?
This one's an interesting division. I feel like I could throw a name in a hat, pick one, and be right. It's wide open. The reason I say that is like you're bringing back Rusty Starr with Lost. Like Lost had his most success 2 years ago on All-Pro with Starr being healthy. Massimo makes some big moves. Has Joe Duke, has some playmakers, loses Tyreek Hill, but has Mitch and Zerma, the rookie, second-year guy. I think he picked up another receiver, and then still has Jalen Waddell. The thing for me, with the Dolphins, I feel like kind of sink to the bottom is offensive line. Their offensive line is not great, but on the flip side, if he's got like a fierce pass rush combo and Chop Robinson and now Max Crosby, how does that play on the sliders and the settings? Like, with the pass rush, we're going to find out with that to be determined. But I just think the Dolphins kind of sink because when push comes to shove, the Jets have a really good defense, a lot of veterans up front. And then I know Loss has built a pretty good team, and it's going to be a lot of points, but scored. But I think it's protecting the quarterback, being able to run the ball in certain situations, and I just don't know that the Dolphins have that. This division also is like the tale of the quarterbacks. Like I think it's probably the strongest in the OMFL. I'm going to lean towards the Jets just because I feel like he found some rhythm last season. He replaced Devontae Adams with Tyreek Hill. And I mentioned last night on the draft show, like since he had really good success with Mike Thomas a couple cycles ago with the Colts, and so those type of receivers, they don't have to be the elite, fast, speedy guy that everybody else is after and seeking out to get. Like he just takes the veteran guy that has the high attributes in the other areas and makes it work. And he's got a three-headed monster there. He's got Breece Hall to run the ball. He's got a pretty decent offensive line, and he's built a pretty strong defense. I think the Bills with Shepard still at corner. I don't know how that got dropped from X Factor to star. That blows my mind. With 17 interceptions last season. But I think that the Bills, just when it comes down, he's not the type of guy that's going to put up 30, 40 points. And so there's going to be games where he just is up against that style of offense, and so I want to lean towards the Jets in that aspect. But yeah, like I said, I could throw a name in the hat, pick one, and not be wrong here.
I don't think there's real logic behind the ability Devo Greg, what gets taken away. I think it really is completely random. Mr. Maniac, claim your own division, sir.
Well, I'm going to go say like this division has been fun. It's been tough to try not to be too long. But my team, where I failed this Madden is I have not drafted well either. Talked about it. I've had a couple good players sprinkled in, but my depth on especially my offensive line, depth on my wide receivers behind my two starters. There's really no good depth there, and so I think that plays a factor for my team. And I definitely could absolutely, not even blinking, I could finish last place in this division very easily. And I think that depth is probably going to come back to haunt me definitely in this season. My pick and my winner for this season, though, is going to be the Patriots. I think the Patriots, his defense, he's picked up in free agency. He picked up some guys to play alongside of what he already had on defense, which he was building. He's drafted well. He's got the quarterback. If his quarterback stays healthy, I think the Patriots are going to have his turn here, and he's going to win this division. I think the Jets are going to be right on his heels. It may be a same situation where it was this last season where Cincy and I both finished with the same record, but he won out because he had the better record in conference or whatever it was that helped him win that division. And so I think that's what we're going to look at here. I think it's going to be really close. I think the Dolphins have also done real well drafting. All three of those other guys have done well drafting, and I think that's where you're going to see them kind of separate themselves from me this season. I've kind of kept my team together, the nucleus of it and stuff, and I'll be able to compete. But I just think that my depth is really going to be what is going to hurt me in the long run. But Lost is just, he's done a phenomenal job building. All these guys have done a phenomenal job building. I even told Cincy that last season. Done a great job in the draft and making the moves that he needed to make his team more competitive. So this is going to be an entertaining division. I will guarantee you that for sure. So you guys need to tune in to wherever these games are being played.
AFC South.
I think for me, one thing
ahead.
I wanted to throw out there is Maniac, you can't be too hard on yourself with everything you're dealing with outside of Madden. It's hard to be engaged and focus on some things when you're dealing with all of that too. So that's another reason I kind of forgot to mention, like putting the stick in your hand. I think you can compete with the best, but once got everything going on the outside, it's hard to just put that all aside and lock in. I mean, that's what you want to do, but mentally it's hard to do that at times too, just because of how you're feeling in that moment.
Given a chance for any kind of comment. AFC South, the division of so much potential. This one's a tough one. We got Kobe, a champion already this cycle, and the Tennessee Titans. Nicesonger and the Jaguars, man. He's made a lot of moves. He's excited.
To cut out.
You're cutting out? I'm cutting out? Who's cutting out? I don't know what's happening. Hello?
It's the GOAT.
Oh, okay. It's the GOAT. Okay. Moving along, we got Roger and the Texans, and then we got Mr. Randy / Bronco Man / Indianapolis Colts / Condors. I was trying to think of their name right there. Mr. Maniac, I don't know if you're with us. I hope you're with us. Why don't you break down the AFC South?
Yeah, so I heard what Big Hurt was saying about me and stuff, and I appreciate that. But we got guys like Raj, man. He's been dealing with a lot of stuff a lot longer than I have, and he's done well competing for his he does super well competing, and then he also builds extremely well drafting. So my hat's off to Roger that he continues to press on and stuff. So this division is tough, and We've seen, I think, the Titans, we've seen the Jaguars, and we've seen the Colts all have a shot in this division so far this cycle, winning the division. So I would love to see Roger take a stab and be there, and he's got the team for it.
Yeah.
Bless his heart, man. I don't know if he's going to be able to physically be able to do it or not. But man, Roger, I'm pushing for you. I mean, I hope you can do it. But I think this season you're going to see. I think the Titans are going to reassert themselves. I think Kobe is going to come back here with a vengeance this season. I think he's got reloaded, retooled. I think he's got what he needs to compete. But I think this is gonna be a two-man race really between the Colts and the Titans, and it's gonna come down to the wire. I think whoever wins their head-to-head matchup against each other. I think that's really what's going to set it apart. But give me the Titans and Kobe. I really think that they're going to be the ones to come out on top this season.
We could sit here and do an entire draft show or entire prediction show, OMFL Press Pass live show on Roger and the Texans. So much potential. His body just doesn't cooperate with the poor fella, and everyone loves Roger. He's like everyone's older brother here, and always pulling for him. He's like Twinkie. He's going to steal a couple of games from people that you don't expect them to. Nysonger's so excited about the Jaguars team that he's built. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I'm watching. Just don't love the quarterback situation. He didn't build that quarterback situation, and didn't feel like this offseason was one that set up for him to fix the quarterback situation. He fixed some defensive issues and some aging issues, but I'm just interested in the offense. That leaves me with the Colts and the Titans. Again, I don't want to tell other people's story, but if he watches this, Kobe, I know you're going through a lot, pulling for you. I'm here to support in any way. Interested to see what he can do, but I think real life may get in the way there. Bronco Man is life is good right now. We got. I actually don't know if that was announced, so I won't say it. Life changes happening, and he's finding his stride, and he's building a team that has confidence, and it's just a lot going in his direction. So give me the Colts to repeat. Hurt, how do you see the AFC South breaking out?
Yeah, this is going to be a fun division as well. I mean, got a lot of good character people in this division. Guys that have a very high level of respect on my end, because it's not easy. You mentioned a few guys name wise, like Twinkie, Roger, Nysonger. You know, Nysonger's newer, but these guys have like taken their lumps and beatings, but stick with it and continue to push forward. And they have upset teams and shown, and like I think I said maybe in one other show, it's like if you could take those games with Twinkie, just a one-score game, like his record would be completely different. But I think Rodgers like the same thing. Like he just puts so much pressure with you with DeMarco and his passing game, and he drafts so well, and he just is so close to like putting it all together. And I would love to see the Texans have success for Rodgers' sake and everything that he's been through, and continues to just be almighty positive here. Bronco Man, I have so much respect for as a person. I've met him a couple times here in real life, as you guys know. Built a great roster, and has found his confidence again, so that's hard to pick against. Kobe's such a dominant player, showed that a couple years ago in his championship run. Not quite sure what's going on, but I know that like when life gets a hold of you, it's hard to lock in and be engaged. And so I think that is a point that has to be considered. And then Nysonger. I mean, I've had lots of talks with him when I took over the Vikings, which is his favorite team. And I just have grown a lot of respect for the guy. He's got a lot of excitement about his team. We've been talking about it. And but I do agree. The quarterback situation is something that I would not lean towards or want to put like a game-winning drive on Justin Fields. And I think that's what's going to nip him in the butt. I think he's going to have a better year, compete for the playoffs, but I don't know that he's going to make it just because of the fact of Justin Fields. So it's going to come down to Kobe and Bronco Man in my eyes. And I think if Kobe's able to be engaged and play, I like Kobe to actually be my number one seed back on the all-pro setting. And when he's engaged, he's tough to beat. But if life gets the best of him and doesn't allow him to be as engaged, I think Bronco Man is the guy to pick. And I will say, with this being said, even if Kobe is engaged, I think Bronco's like right on his heel, and it might be like a 13-12 2-win teams there. And it's just going to be the difference of who the head. But I think both teams are going to be right there. And they'll probably be two of the top teams in the AFC, but only one can obviously win the division. So for the sake of the show, I'm going to go Randy and Bronco just because I don't know what's going on with Kobe, but I think Kobe could easily flip the script and win it if life allows it.
I don't know why, but I heard in my ass, and I know that's not what he said, but that's what my brain heard. AFC North, you got Denver and the Browns. I don't know why I paused, but I was like, is Denver the Browns? Yeah, he's the Browns. Little Koch and the Bengals, Mr. Penguins and the Steelers. And then the guy that was in OMFL Bowl 113, Nipples and the Ravens. Boy, this one is going to be a fun one. Big Hurt, tell me how the AFC North is going to break out.
This is another division. I scratch my head. Guys talk about, I was just talking about guys of character and higher level of respect. Denver, Koch, Nipples, like fun, kind of the comedy side of things. Penguins has been so dominant in recent cycles. Hasn't quite found that success this cycle, but this division's loaded. I like what the Bengals have done is building a team and doing some off-season moves. And obviously, Nipples coming off a pretty high level of play last season, 15-2, and then an OMFL Bowl appearance. But I'm going to go with Denver. I think Denver comes back and finds a way. The Browns put themselves back on the map and make a run. I think they win the division. I think the Steelers, I think the Bengals, and I think the Ravens, like you said, in one division, I think all of them are going to be 9-10 plus wins, and it's just going to be a matter of who comes out from the Royal Rumble of who beat who and head-to-head records. But I think the Browns are my pick for this season in Denver for him to pull out the victory of the AFC North.
Maniac, how you see the AFC North, bud?
Yeah, this one's going to be an entertaining one for sure. It just depends on if there's going to be any cruises, I think, for the Ravens. So if he's got some summer cruises lined up, springtime cruises lined up, then he's definitely out of the mix. So we'll have to see what happens there. But I do think the Browns have done quite well in the offseason. I think he drafted well. I also picked up a couple key pieces in free agency. I wouldn't count out the Bengals, though. He probably has one of the better offensive lines of this entire league. I mean, when he drafted, we were talking about in the chat today, when he drafted back-to-back, 86 overall rookies or whatever on the offensive line, that's pretty impressive. Whatever their rating was, they were highly 80 overall ratings, though, coming out as rookies. So, and he's just added to the offensive line, and he's got weapons on the outside. So, but that being said, the Browns too, Denver, we've been kind of saying, back and forth, are the Browns back? Is Denver back, in the playoffs? And he's kind of struggled there as well. And I think a lot of guys have struggled that we wouldn't expect this cycle in the playoffs. But I'm going to give me the Bengals. I think he's looking to kind of come out of his shell this season. I think he's primed with that offensive line. I think with these settings, and I think offensive line does what they're supposed to do. I think he's going to be dominant compared to a lot of the other guys that don't have as good offensive line, and maybe the defensive line doesn't match up really well against his offensive line. So I think it's going to make the difference, and I think he's going to really see the benefits from that this season. So give me the Bengals and the Browns to kind of be right there mixed up for this division, but give me the Bengals top.
There was something about the way that bowl game ended, taking the knee. Now, my guy's going to go back and listen to this, may use it for bulletin board material and change his mind. But something tells me that he proved to himself in the league that he can be dominant, he can get there. He fell a little short. Now it's time to put this thing on permanent vacation until next cycle, play just enough to not get removed from here and, coast on into Costa Rica with his pants down. No, really, I know that he's got a lot going on. Work is very stressful and busy. I'm interested. He could prove me wrong. He could stay engaged. We just have never seen, Nips stay engaged for a whole cycle. That's not a shot at him. It's just the reality in which we face as a league. Nipples engages for a moment, sort of proves his point, and then goes and has fun. He's young, spry, got a lot of energy. I get it. Pittsburgh is an intriguing team for me. Last year had some big life changes. I'm hoping he feels more settled. That's the thing we could say about every OMFL team is that we all have real lives. This is not our job. This is just a video game, and we're not kids anymore where we're all sort of on the same playing field. We all have work gets stressful, or kids get stressful, or wife gets stressful, or whatever. Life just gets stressful, and so interested in the Steelers. I think he has slowly built a team. I just don't know that life is going to allow him to plug fully in. The Bengals also had a work situation that has pulled a lot of his time. I think has kept Little Koch from being the Little Koch that he created himself to be the last couple of cycles. You did say it though, Maniac, quite the offensive line. He's got Eli Barkley, the big stud wide receiver, the big arm quarterback in, why am I drawing a blank? Burrow, my God, as an LSU fan, I was like, it's been a long Monday, y'all. I've done a lot of talking today. I like the team. I want to see it come together and see if life will allow it to come together. And then you got the Browns. This is a good segue. I'm going to ask both of you to give me your OMFL Bowl winning prediction. Who's the team that wins it all? This is my OMFL Bowl prediction. When I submitted my preseason, whatever that new game that Priest and Lost Snipers created, I submitted that Denbrew is going to win a championship. He's my pick. It's a dark horse pick, but I feel like he's got all the tools. He's put them together, and we're going to see him really flourish going back to all pro. He's going to establish the run. He's got the pass game. He's got the good cornerbacks. I just think he's got all of the tools, and he's going to go ahead and win this one. And with that said, I want to get both of your OMFL Bowl champion predictions. So, Maniac, I'm coming to you first. Who wins the whole darn thing in season 114?
Give me, and this is just an absolute, I would love to see this, but I'm just going to do it. The Patriots, they're going to shock the world, and he's going to get victory. He's just going to have the unforgettable season and actually get his OMFL Bowl victory.
Mr. Hurt, give me your prediction. Who wins the whole thing?
Well, as I'm filling out the playoff madness thing, I was thinking, man, this is throwing darts and blindfolded and trying to pin the tail on the donkey type of game. I really, because there's so many things that are unknown, and how do you project this? We're sitting here kind of playing that game right now, but it's that game right there, picking a whole season. That's fantasy the fantasy football thing is hard enough, but the playoff madness, it's a fun aspect, fun twist of things, but it's you're literally throwing darts blindfolded,
you're
and
guessing.
There may not even be a dart board that you're throwing at. So, but I think for my early pick, I'm gonna have to go with the Jets just because I feel like they're motivated. I don't know why. I just have this feeling last season. And then talking to him last night, he was like, I know what I did. I know what I messed up on with the Ravens. And when I feel like when Cincy has that mindset and he's got the roster on top of it, that's dangerous. And he averaged almost 40 points last season, and then he brings in all these vets on the defensive line, and like, I don't know, I just feel like the defense now kind of complements the offense better this season than it did last season. And again, then he's motivated and he's got that mindset of like, I know what I did. I'm coming back to prove people wrong. And I just think the Jets are the team to beat for that reason. So that's my reason for picking the Jets.
Well, I blame you for him being in a crabby mood last night. And if he reacts in regular games that actually matter the way he reacted with me in a preseason game, then he's gonna be hell to pay over there in the AFC. You guys are gonna be paying for it. As I lean on the guys for one final thought this might be a good time to go ahead and show some sliders. On the next show, we'll have a little bit more time. We'll talk about, maybe off-season winners and things that stuck out to us. I just feel like we just did a draft show last night. Now we're doing predictions. It's a little too much too fast. So here are the sliders for going to All-Pro. All-Pro is an easier mode. Duh. That's why it's All-Pro, not All Madden. And so I was trying to figure out a way to sort of deflate the offense a little bit, because those numbers in the All-Pro season, that last one, were like, we had like 2,000-yard runners, I think, almost a couple of 5,000-yard passers, multiple 50-plus touchdown quarterbacks, multiple 2,000-yard wide receivers. Like the numbers were a little nuts. Pass rush was a problem in All-Pro, and so this is why we have settled where we are. 42 on the quarterback accuracy. I played a preseason game. Can't take a ton from that, but you get something from it. On 40, I really, really liked it. So this number may go down back to 40. I could also see, like, I don't know, a bunch of guys getting up in arms and it going back to 45. I hope not. I hope that Nate can kind of have some thick skin and stick to it. I like how this plays. If you don't set your feet and you don't make the right read, you're going to throw a bad pass. And that bad pass may be slightly behind the receiver, but when you mix it with these other sliders, slightly behind the receiver is going to be an incompleted pass. I really, really liked how it played on 40, but it was a preseason game. We're going to try on 42, see how it goes. Pass blocks at 42. I had it on 40. I really, really liked it. But my worry is when we start playing games that matter, it might be a little too much. We didn't get a ton of sacks in our preseason game, but there was pressure. You could feel it. You had to move in the pocket, and that's sort of what we want. We don't want plays where you got 4, 5, 6 seconds back there. It's not realistic. Also going to lead to inflated high numbers. Wide receiver catches lower, and I can hear Maniac scratching at my head right now to raise this back, but we just don't see a ton of drops. We'll see them every now and then. And to me, this is a way to remove a lot of the bang-bang plays and make those bang-bang plays more 50-50 plays as they should be. I want guys to think about those tight window throws. And let's be honest, the first two seasons on All-Pro, you didn't have to think about tight window throws. If you had an all-star receiver and you had an all-star quarterback, you just didn't think about anything and you just whipped it in there and did what you want. We've seen the spamming of wide receivers multiple times through All-Pro. Didn't quite see that on All Madden. A couple, the Ravens, right? I'm hoping this helps with that just a little bit. Run blocking is at 42. Played with this at 40 last night. It felt pretty good. I did give it a little bit of bump. I could see this number falling just like pass block and quarterback accuracy somewhere between 40 and 45. I am aiming towards a lower number and hope that Nate can have some thick skin. We always leave ball security alone. Defensive pass reaction and coverage up to 60. Again, it's all pro. The reason we went to All Madden is players are just standing around being dum-dums all the time. And then we watched, a couple plays in the playoffs where it was like, Holy cow, what just happened on All Madden? I can't believe that just happened. I'm hoping this number raises that up and we get more defensive plays. Interceptions are always going to be lower because if you have this higher than 35, the honest truth is no one drops anything. They catch everything, and there's a reason they play DB. I don't care what the catch rating is in Madden. Like, DBs should not catch the ball all the time. And I also raised up tackling to kind of counter the lower pass run, or I mean the run blocking. So I liked how this felt last night. We did not have a lot of time to practice to try this out. This will be ever evolving. I will be watching stats. I will be seeing what my own game feels like. Nothing else changed. Injuries are the same. Fatigue is the same. Speed is the same. All the penalties are all the same. None of that changed. That's where we fell. One final thought, Big Hurt.
Yeah, let's play some games.
I like it, short and sweet. One final thought, Maniac.
Just whip it.
Not the goat, though. Don't whip the goat.
No, I'm ready to play some games too. It's been a while. I think I'd be interested with the sliders. Just keep thick skin and whip it.
I was a 4-win team, and I played the Cowboys, the Panthers, the Cardinals, the Lions, the Jaguars, the Panthers, the Eagles, the Dolphins, the Colts, the Texans, the Bucks, the Commanders, the Falcons, the Bucks, the Falcons, the Giants, and the Titans. Oh, what? That's not a 4-win team schedule. I wish Madden would do a little bit better on the schedules, but I mean, can it really? We're all humans, and it's ever evolving and ever changing. I'm ready to play. I need some time. You guys have to look at the announcements and make sure you stay up on the rules. FPR rule books and stuff have not been updated. I got graphics I got to create. Maniac's helping me with that. I got my own team to get ready and my own incentives to use. So I just need some time. Tonight, I'm going to try to get my team finished. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to turn my attention to FPR since games are going to be starting hopefully tomorrow night, getting rule books updated. And then the rest of the week, I'll turn my attention to the graphics and getting those things finished. So that is the plan. I'm ready to get going. I'm itching to play. And I've actually missed, playing Madden. Missed kind of grinding with the guys and seeing how my team either does or doesn't come together. So I got some trades to go make with Mr. Nicesonger. It feels like he threw me a pretty good offer. I got to go see if that's going to make sense for me. If you guys got a fat middle linebacker or outside linebacker you're looking to deal, I need some linebackers. My team is really bad right now. I should have made that deal with Roger, and I talked myself out of it and kicking myself now because I just did not draft well. Guys, take care of yourselves. Maniac and Hurt, thank you for taking time to be here tonight. I appreciate you. I love you guys. Good to see you, Lost. We said a lot of good things about you, Lost, so make sure to go back and watch it. We said a lot of good things about a lot of people here. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'll be back tomorrow night with some OMFL College, and then I think Mr. Dwayne and I are going to play like Wednesday night or so. Poor guy's on nights right now. That's why he couldn't be here. Take care of yourselves. Take care of those around you. I love you. You matter. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Whip it.
Smash that like and subscribe.